As long as we believe in searching for things that may be beyond our own world or in the future, we spend every moment of our lives for a moment. That will never happen. This is probably the biggest risk gambling on our lives. Therefore, this way is very humble. Accept our own presence. It becomes dependent on the elements that we can never control, and we find ourselves in an endless cycle. When it comes to that day, we'll notice that we've ever counted countless precious memories for the sake of an unfamiliar moment, and we'll understand that we lose this gambling. No misunderstanding, of course, we will make effort. Today I'll tell you the silent sci-fi power of Stoic Lake, but remember to be subscribed to our channel before proceeding to your location, like our video and jump like. First, we will do our best to overcome ourselves and pass all the obstacles we put ourselves in ourselves. In our nature, we always have to want better and more. Even in the pursuit of these goals, there is no wrongness in the pursuit of fame, money, and power. But I think you understand where I want to get. Today I will give you an alternative way. I'm going to talk about the philosophy of Stoiculture, quiet, power, from an understanding that keeps light for thousands of years. Let's really acknowledge that life is quite difficult and hungry. At the moment, we're born, we're indifferent, and lost assets. Everything is very foreign and scary. Even if we try to learn how to control these feelings when we grow, this fear and worries never disappear. We try to eliminate these feelings throughout our lives. For this, we wrap the search for control as the most effective weapon. The effort to control ourselves, our environment, the world, and the universe is to firmly grasp everything. If we can understand everything exactly, we now think we will not feel hungry and lost. For this reason, we strive very intensively for power and money, because these are the shortest and easy ways to control the whole world. In this way, we think we remove the confusion that we live at the moment of our birth, but very few people understand this fact clearly. In fact, there is nothing we can do. In this storm, there is not a prosecution here in the middle of the storm, which is essential. Here Stoiology guides us for thousands of years in this regard. We can even think that people before history are getting this philosophy much deeper. This current popular in ancient Rome has become much more important today. In this period, especially when we live change, technology is constantly developing, and the information is spread like ground. People have become more likely that this understanding is never before. Everyone is looking for a restfulness in the essence. We want to stand in the simplest form. The principles of Stoicism are also grounding to us reality, real world, in fact, a river that is independent of our thoughts and feelings. What if you do consider what you think, whether you want to resist yourself? It's no matter at all, but never. Now let's take a step back and let's go to the wrong understanding before you're inventing the deep of the stove. Stopers that can stay calm in the middle of the storm are often labeled as a moodless or sense. This does not pose a problem for them, but for those who want to advance on this road, it is necessary to note that this mood represents a way of self-discipline, azim, and wisdom. How did this current be born? Around 304, a trader named Zeno comes to Athens after losing everything in a ship accident and met with philosophy thanks to the philosophers called Stylopo with crates, which changes his life, even mixed with joke about this. I've been very rich when I woke my heart and lost everything. Afterwards, it is moved to Stoic's painted porch, and you can still visit their remains. Here they joined Zeno and followers and chat. In fact, this group became a school. Initially, they were understood as xenoncular. The situation for all philosophers is the same. They are understood with their names and are recognized by the followers of their currents from them. However, Zeno was asked to not be used in a large humor. Thus, this current was starting from Stoa Poikeril. Then this current and understanding will become more common. Many people will appear the names they know. Most importantly, Marcus Aurelius. We prepared a comprehensive documentary about him and outlined his. Apart from Marcus Aurelius, the Seneca born in Spain around 4 was also a rich and intellectual family. He accepted his philosophy not only as a thought discipline, but also a transformation tool in everyday life. A large part of life was passed with diseases or exiles. A severe lung disease at young age had to keep it away. After a short period of time when it turned back, the emperor was exiled to Corsica by Claudius. This time spent with loneliness has improved its ability of writership even more. The letters, expressed in the deepest Stoic thoughts, were written. In this process, he was called back to Rome, trainer of the young Nero. But this task brought him to face with power, and contradictions. When Nero becomes one of the most brutal emperors of history, Seneca remained as a Stoic that tries to do the best in the hands of this retenity, and perhaps the words that express him in the best way. The real happiness is hidden, that it is not necessary to do so. Stoicism for Seneca was not only related to writing and talking, it was related to living and sometimes to quietly fold. On the other hand, Epictetus had. When others talk about the host of slaves, he was a slave. The real name is not known. Epictetus induced. He came to the world as a slave in Rome. The master was Epaphroditus, known for its brutality. One day he tried to bend his leg forced. Epictetus was calmly warned, "Dicit et will be broken." But the master did not listen to him. When the leg is broken, Epictetus, just by lifting his head, said, "I warned." He said, "What the?" Because he was a Stoic, and Stoics focus on their reactions, not what they can't control. After that day, a blessing was continuously, but the will never weakened. The banality was not only an obstacle for the leg, but not for the will. He won freedom only after 30 years. He gave years in Rome. After that, the philosophers went to Greece. When exiled, she opened a school in Nicopolis and sought to think and teach the remaining life. According to his opinion, life was born from a game, and choosing the role was completely connected to us, although it was not our best. The names were different. Who was an emperor? Some of them were in exile, some of which was born with chains, but all kept to the same internal power. Marcus, Seneca, Epictetus. Not only Stoicism that combines them at a common point, they joined four main values on the basis of the same understanding. Direct, measured justice, and Marcus Aurelius said, "If you find something more superior than courage, accuracy, self-control, and justice in life, you are really facing something extraordinary." 20 years passed, technology improved, medicine transmitted, the world changed, but the essence of man remained the same. And still no one has been able to values. Because you bring what life brings, the only thing that falls to us is to respond to these values. Now let's look at each of the bride individually. Let's start from the first. Sometimes life comes out only with a single question: do you have a courage? Stoic law recognizes well. Seneca, I'm suffering from someone who did not have difficulty. Because it is self-defined, he said. Because of suffering, loss, and uncertainty, in fact, not to destroy us, who are for revealing. All like a mirror, and what we see in that mirror depends on our behavior. How many are we going to stay, whether stand right? We give you the answer not with words, but with our behavior. That's why courage is the starting point of everything. But of course, life does not only progress with courage. Sometimes it is necessary to know that instead of going forward, more than Caesarine decides, the eye moves. So we need second value. Aristotle explains it with gold balance metaphor. There is a delicacy at the end of the Caesarine. Erdem is in the middle, at the right time, on the right scale, in the correct action. This balance is a matter of habit. We learn walking, to run with Epictetus. So it's not a decision to be measured, powerful systems, small but consistent steps and accurate habits. Here is the basis of large changes. What is missing? Time 300 years in full consistency. We were brave, we were measured. However, even if these are not used for a correct purpose. The highest virtue, justice, according to the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius expresses this clearly: justice is the source of all other virtues. Because justice is not only a matter of law, but also a way of life. Time is a compass that determines when we are going to sound, who will defend the right, where we will stop and go to the movement. Cathode in Rome conquered life for the sake of protecting the Republic. Epictetus's thoughts inspired Higginson at the beginning of slavery. Marcus's words have shaped the economy policies of Beatrice Webb and received power from numerous people, Stoi that fight justice, because a Stoic sees the world, but also knows how to be, and there are courage, strategies, and sabs to get there. Justice is intended not only for other people, but also to make a harmonious life with our own conscience. But there is still a question that should be answered: when should we show courage? How much should we be measured? How to understand what is right? Here is one of the most basic virtues here. Wisdom is the key to understanding the world according to Stoicism thinks. With Zeno's expression, we have 2 ears and a mouth, so we should listen to more. Epictetus also consolidates this thought. One who thinks you already know can never learn new things. Wisdom does not only collect information, it is also the ability to distinguish the right information, reading, observing, asking questions. Instead of the noise of life, it is important to focus on the essence. Today we have thousands of years of experience, but how much can you benefit from this accumulation? Here is what determines it is wisdom. 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. Even the rate of these elements gives us tips on what we should do. Students stay and drive a smart life. Perhaps the essence of the work is hidden here. From the moment we are doing, we are constantly taking things to be satisfied, understand, control. We're probably missing the most important element when you want more time for flops than seeing life as a goal to be reached. Stoic law reminds us that true happiness is not outside, not more or in the future. We cannot control what they offer, but we can choose how to react. Therefore, Stoicism is a perspective, not a prescription, a philosophy of life. The inner peace against the mess of the outside world is character against the coincidence. This is the way of not visible strength, but not eye-catching successes. Perhaps it is impossible to become a stoic in a sense. However, the matter is not to be perfect, to determine our goal correctly and advance it on the road every day, because at the end we will face the same truth. The answer of everything we call outside was actually in our in-house. Thank you for your watch. If you still haven't subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe with the subscriber button at the bottom.